St. Joe, Missouri, where Chiefs training camp, it's here, Neal. This is like Christmas morning for Chiefs fans because we have a Super Bowl champion Chiefs team in town today. It's the coaches, the rookies, and the quarterbacks. We saw them walk into the dorm. They have touchdown. Neal, how excited are you for training camp? How excited should Kansas City be for training camp this year?
Well, in theory, I'm very excited because it puts the Chiefs back on the pedestal and the spotlight. We get to hear from the coach and the players. That part's fun, but I do wish that it started later. This is one of the earliest starts in the history of the modern NFL where they've kind of dialed back training camp. It used to be 6 weeks up in Liberty, Missouri, and they would hit. I mean, you had 2 practices a day. But in modern times, they don't practice that way, and they don't practice this early. But the Chiefs get special dispensation from the NFL. They get to go a week early, so here we are. So I kind of lament the end of summer. I would rather be with my kids and doing stuff with them. But
you stuck with me instead.
But if you're going to cover something, this is a pretty exciting thing to cover. And what a great guy to interview today, Patrick Mahomes.
Well, that's what makes it special because I feel like the Chiefs really haven't left the top of the pedestal. We went from seeing a Super Bowl championship to the parade to hosting the draft to we see the Chiefs winning that best SB, or at the ESPYs they won the best team. Mahomes wins best athlete. So I feel like they've always been top of mind, but now it comes with some football. What they're known for. We get to see them in pads starting tomorrow. You'll be at practice. So let's start there. What do you kind of look for overall at training camp practices that fans will soon see starting on Sunday?
It's shorts. It's T-shirts and shorts and helmets. It's not football. So often there'll be somebody that makes a great catch or some guy who runs and picks off 3 passes in a drill and then you think, okay, this guy's going to be a starter. No, he might be a free agent, basically a walk-on, a guy that his agent begged his way onto the team so that there can be some video that he might hook on with another team. What we see out here for the most part is it's vanilla. It's not really football, particularly in the line. So, we all want to know how Felix is going to do. The Lee Summit kid who was a first-round draft pick of the Chiefs, a pass rusher. We're not going to know really what he can do until we see one-on-one battles in practice where it's not full speed, but it's as close as you can get it. He's going against a real offensive tackle, an NFL offensive tackle. Then we can see something. The rest of it's all window dressing.
Well, let's start there with Felix because this will be fans' first chance to see him in a Chiefs uniform. They saw him in a Lee Summit uniform, saw him at Kansas State, of course, starring, and now he's this year's first-round draft pick. How cool do you think this is for him? He came up to training camp as a fan to see guys like Travis Kelce growing up, and now he's moving into the dorm rooms today. We saw him carrying a lot of luggage. How special is this for him, do you think?
I think for him especially it means a lot. One, he was a real fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. There are a lot of kids who grew up in Kansas City. The Chiefs weren't very good for much of that time, so they grew up as fans of the New England Patriots because they were the one winning, if you can believe that, or other franchises. I mean, the NFL's a national brand, right? If your team's bad, you start rooting for teams that are in the playoffs. But in his case, he grew up as a powerful. He loved the Kansas City Chiefs. He loves Lee Summit. His family's in Lee Summit. He cares about the community. He remains close with his high school friends and his high school teachers. So I think for him especially, it does mean something, and it really is exciting for him to be here.
When he was drafted, he talked about when Matt Castle was quarterback and when they beat the previously unbeaten Packers. And I'm like, okay, that's a guy that he's been around. A lot of people know the Andy Reid era, Alex Smith, of course now Patrick Mahomes, but you're right, he's a true fan. So that's someone that I think fans can come up here and root for as a rookie, along with Rashee Rice, a highly touted wide receiver. We saw Keandre Coburn from Texas. Neal, he brought in massive luggage. You see some coaches like Matt Nagy, he brought a lot of pillows. He said he likes pillows, which I can understand. I'm not sure how the bedding is here at Missouri Western. I'm sure it's nice for a college, but these are athletes living in very nice houses, you would think, so it's a bit of an adjustment here, but that's what training camp is all about.
I don't know what your dorm rooms were like. Mine at the University of Oklahoma was just one step above being sent to a juvenile home. You know what I mean? I mean, bad beds, a water fountain that wasn't really cold out in the hallway. You had to walk to the end of the hall to go to the bathroom and take a shower and all that stuff. So you got guys walking around in robes. It was not glamorous. And now these guys who largely live pretty glamorous lifestyles compared to the rest of us, they're living in a dormitory. And it's pretty wild for them, I think.
My friends, that's on me for letting Neal Jones bring back his college days. I didn't intend for it to go there. I will say University of Missouri treated me very well. So, as your children as well, going to the local schools. So, and here at Missouri Western, it is a nice campus. But hey, when you're a $500 million quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, it's an adjustment. We've seen him now on the Netflix series, seen a little bit behind his life. I mean, this is peak Patrick Mahomes right now. He's never been more popular, never been at more of a peak of his game, coming off a second Super Bowl. Now he's back at training camp. But talking to him today, Neal, you can tell he's just as motivated, just as locked in, even though now he has a family.
He says he is. Everyone's always said, "Oh no, well, we're in." They're not always in. His track record, though, is he is always in. They have their fun and they travel and they do stuff that they post on Instagram and on Twitter and stuff. But you can just tell that he's serious about this. And he's the leader. I mean, everybody follows the best player's lead, and he happens to be a guy that's in on it, rather than someone who pays lip service but who does not focus and doesn't come to camp ready to go.
He's a great representative of the Chiefs and a great leader of this team and a great representative of Kansas City, because even though he's on this national spotlight, he's always saying the right things. He's never making go, embarrassed to be a Chiefs fan. I think we're very lucky to have that here in Kansas City. So, Chiefs training camp, this is kind of day one because they're reporting, but technically day one of practices tomorrow. Then the veterans report on Friday. Then the first practice is on Sunday. So it's kind of a slow ramp up. But as Neal said, summer is kind of over now because the Super Bowl champions are back on a football field. Exciting times. We'll have much more coverage here from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes coming up on KCTV5 at 4, 5, 6, and 6:30 on KC Sports Night, where we're talking in-depth Chiefs analysis along with Scott Reese.
So what are we doing right now?
This is a little tease.
No, we are racing over to Price Chopper and get some cold sodas for Junior here. He got thirsty because he didn't pack anything, so we're going to go over to neighborhood Price Chopper and take care of business.
Listen, our friends at Price Chopper always hook us up, and they really love the Chiefs as well. That's the cool thing about Price Chopper and about this city, is that we're all embracing the Chiefs. We love the Chiefs, and so we're happy to be here. We thank you for joining us right now and all day here on KC5 and all football season, because guess what? You're going to be seeing a lot of us every Sunday, on the weekends. We're here with the best Chiefs coverage.